The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Attorney General defending the decision on the anti-violence bill. Ryan Pinder says the focus on gender in legislation would be confusing. The government investigating an apparent oil slick in waters off Grand Bahama. And the opposition lashing out on the government on their spending practices. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also, this morning, we wrap up our series, our three-part series with RF Bank and Trust on margin loans. The final bit of that series coming up this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, shooting down opposition to the Protection Against Violence Bill 2023 from some women's groups, Attorney General Ryan Pinder saying that the bill is a testament to the government's dedication to eradicating violence against women. Last week, several women's groups said the Protection Against Violence Bill is not the bill rights groups spent more than a decade working on. During debate on the bill in the Senate yesterday, Pinder said the gender-based violence bill drafted in 2016 was never intended to be the final draft. He said consultations and amendments continued on the 2016 draft until very recently. He said the 2016 bill was voluminous, but the consensus was that the bill needed work to be in a position to present to Cabinet to advance to Parliament. He said, quote, "We believe in the foundation areas that are found in the 2016 bill, and the Protection Against Violence Bill 2023 reflects these." Now, women's groups said that the gender-based violence bill was replaced at the last minute with the Protection Against Violence bill, and that the new bill does not contain key provisions that would further help protect women and girls from violence. Pinder said the 2016 bill applies to gender-based violence, and that the gender-based violence in the 2016 bill meant that any physical, economic, or financial, emotional, verbal, or psychological abuse against a person because of the person's gender or gender identification, whether or not constituting a criminal offense. He said they wanted to ensure that they're passing legislation of violence that is appropriate and avoids any possibility of confusion. Opposition leader Michael Pintard has accused the government of squandering increased revenues that have come from the reopening of the world and the Bahamian economy. In a statement, Pintard said businesses are roaring back as COVID deaths and infections decline, but he said increased revenues have been outstripped, which has resulted in the increased deficit and an increase in the national debt. He said the government is failing to lead the nation in a national conversation about careful priorities. The Ministry of Transport and Housing says it's investigating an apparent oil slick in waters at the Buckeye Terminal in Freeport, Grand Bahama. The ministry saying in a statement that upon receiving notification, Transport and Housing officials executed a contingency plan, including the activation of the National Oil Spill Advisory Committee. It says that senior officials from the Ministry of Transport and Housing and the Environment and Natural Resources Ministry are expected to arrive in Grand Bahama to assess the impact and to investigate the source of the oil slick. A nail technician sentenced to 3 years and 6 months at the Department of Corrections after leaving the scene of a deadly hit-and-run in 2022. Altami's Roll was ordered to pay $20,000 in compensation to the estate of the deceased. The 25-year-old was sentenced after she pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter. The accident happened on February 14th, 2022 on John F. Kennedy Drive. The victim, Sandy Roll, was walking to his job at Bahamas Waste around 1:40 a.m. when he was struck by the convict's blue Toyota Passo. Roll shouldn't have been driving since she didn't have a driver's license. Her car was also unlicensed and uninsured. Prior to the collision, the convict attended several sporting bars where she had several drinks. She told police she was getting drowsy and asked a friend to stay on the phone with her to keep her awake. She said that she dozed off and felt her car hit something. After the impact, she noticed that the windshield of her vehicle had caved in. Nonetheless, Roll failed to remain at the scene of the incident and continued driving her damaged car to a friend's home. When she arrived, she took a shower and the following morning had the vehicle towed to her father's house. She surrendered to the traffic police station on February 17, 3 days after the collision. In his sentencing, Justice Gregory Hilton said the court was unable to speak after being struck, but could surmise that any attempt to save his life might have been able to save him. Overseas, Israel's being rocked by a wave of mass protests again, calling for the country's democracy to be upheld. But the pro-democracy movement lacks any clear message of the opposition to Israel's open-ended military rule over millions of Palestinians. Critics of the protest movement, including Palestinians, say this is a significant blind spot, that such selective advocacy of democratic ideals shows how disconnected Israelis are from the harsh reality of those living under Israel's occupation. And as the U.S. government is considering Kenya to lead a multinational force in Haiti, it was also openly warning Kenyan police officers against violent abuses. Now, 1,000 of those officers in warfare is a challenging turn for a police force long accused by rights watchdogs of killings and torture, including gunning down civilians during Kenya's COVID-19 curfew. One local group confirmed that officers fatally shot more than 30 people in July alone, all of them in Kenya's poorest neighborhoods, during opposition-called protests over the rising cost of living. Now, the U.S., as this month's president of the UN Security Council, is preparing to put forward a resolution to authorize the mission in Haiti, led by Kenyan police, who have relatively little overseas experience in such large numbers and don't speak French, which is used in Haiti. For more than 9 months, the UN had appealed unsuccessfully for a country to lead an effort to restore order to the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Kenya's interest was announced on Saturday, with its foreign minister saying his government has accepted to positively consider leading the force in Haiti and sending 1,000 police officers to train the Haitian National Police, restore normalcy, and protect strategic installations. In sports, for the first time since 2017 and the fourth time in history, the Bahamas will be hosting the World Athletics Relays. It's set for May 4th through 5th, 2024 at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium right here in Nassau. The official launch for the World Relays Bahamas 2024 held yesterday. Bahamas hosted the first three editions in 2014, 15, and 17. The United States taking first on the medal table, winning the gold baton each time. The gold out to the meet's overall winner. The last edition held in 2021 in Poland. Chairman of the local organizing committee, Dr. Daniel Johnson, said it's good to have the meet back here. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And coming out of the recently concluded North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association Under 18 and Under 23 Championships in Costa Rica, in which the Bahamas had its second best performance ever, there were reports of misconduct and insubordination involving Bahamian athletes. There were also reports that 6 athletes, 5 of which are in the minor category, under 18, were being suspended for competition for a significant period. When pressed on the matter Wednesday, B3A's President Jamiko Archer simply said that certain matters are under investigation and that the findings of those investigations will be made public in due time. You can read about that as well in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a weak high-pressure system extending westward into the Bahamas. That's going to promote light breezes throughout tonight with pockets of showers or isolated thunderstorms across the islands, partly due to residual troughing and moisture. Everybody's again being advised to protect themselves, hydrate, stay out of the sun, as we're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. Boaters should also be alert for waterspout activity. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, expect a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be hot as well, with isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming partly cloudy and warm tonight. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas, in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds northeast to east at 10 knots or less, seas 3 feet or less. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and humid, with a slight chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight. Winds easterly at 10 knots or less, seas 1 to 3 feet. Temperatures today getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index, though, will make you feel like it's 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. This first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across Bahama and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
A lot of folks are wondering, what is the Agrarian Awards? It's an award show to celebrate the people who produce the food that feeds the country. So September 16th, we're giving out trophies and money to young farmers, backyard farmers, sheep runners, goat herders, pea pickers, onion planters, basically everyone. But we couldn't fit all that on the invite, so we put Agrarian Awards instead. Go to adobahamas.org to find out how to nominate your favorite agrarian. The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
We're good for you. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Hope all is well with you.
Yeah, everything's good.
Time is flying. I feel like I spoke to you on the show 3 days ago or something like that. It's just amazing how quickly.
Yeah, time is
going.
really, we're already.
Wild. Anyway, great to talk with you as always. A lot happening. Coming up this morning, we're going to wrap up our series, our three-part series with RF Bank and Trust on margin loans. Been learning a lot about that over the past few days, and the final part of that this morning. But there is a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, the big headline in the Nassau Guardian, AG defends decision on anti-violence bill. Ryan Pinder says the focus on gender in legislation would be confusing. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. We, of course, talked a lot about this yesterday with our guest from Equality Bahamas, Alicia Wallace. That got a lot of people talking. And as we see, people's definitions, gender-based violence, domestic violence, violence in general. Why not just look at violence in general, that kind of stuff? So the AG's comments are very interesting. We'll get to that, as I said, in a moment. There's another story, though, and this is happening far too often, and I think we need to pay attention to this. So a woman from Hit and Run sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison. Or Artesia Davis writing about this. A nail technician Wednesday sentenced to 3 years and 6 months at the Bahamas Department of Corrections after leaving the scene of a deadly hit-and-run accident in 2022. Altomi's role was ordered to pay $20,000 in compensation to the estate of the deceased. The 25-year-old was sentenced after she pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter in May. The fatal accident happened on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2022, on John F. Kennedy Drive. The victim, Sandy Roll, was walking to his job at Bahamas Waste around 1 when he was struck by the convict's blue Toyota Passo. Roll shouldn't have been driving, and you know what's coming next, because it's always the case. Since she didn't have a driver's license, her car was unlicensed and uninsured. Prior to the collision, the convict, not playing here, the convict attended several sporting bars where she had several drinks. She told police that she was getting drowsy and she asked a friend to stay on the phone with her. You think she had that in her hand, or was it a hands-free device? Anyway, stay on the phone with her to keep her awake. She said that she dozed off and felt her car hit something. After the impact, she noticed that the windshield of her vehicle had caved in. Wonder how that happened. Nonetheless, rolled the incident and continued driving her damaged car to her friend's home. When she arrived, she took a shower, and the following morning had the vehicle towed to her father's home. Rolls surrendered to the traffic police station on February 17th, 2022, 3 days after the collision. Now, in his sentencing judgment, Justice Gregory Hilton said, quote, "This court is unable to speak to the physical state of the deceased after being struck, but one can surmise on the possibility of an attempt to save his life had he received quick medical attention. The convict showed a lack of interest and concern for life. Her failure to stop and report the accident exacerbated the circumstances. A reasonable person would stop before proceeding to their destination. The convict did not. Therefore, the victim was deprived of his life and his family lost a loved one." The judge noted that the victim's family was unable to make a fatal accident claim because Roll's car was unlicensed and... My God. Hilton said that 5 years imprisonment was appropriate for the crime. However, her sentence was reduced by 1/3 due to her early guilty plea. Roll faced a potential maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. In sentencing arguments, the prosecutor, Kachina Thompson, sought a sentence in the range of 4 to 6 years plus $10,000 in compensation. Roll's lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, suggested a 6-month sentence in addition to $20,000 in compensation. Wow. Heartbreaking.
It is extremely heartbreaking. I was thinking about this once this, the news came on in the news, and just, Dwight, I remember years, this is like maybe about 15 years ago, I was driving. It was the night I was driving. And I went over something, right? I knew it wasn't a person. I can't tell you how I felt. I immediately stopped, pulled over. The fact that in my head that I thought that I hit an animal, not a human, an animal. I mean, I was already at the point of tears.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, when I got out and I looked, I'm like, my phone's in my hand because I'm trying to get a number for the Humane Society, and I looked and it was a piece of wood.
Oh, wow.
But I'm just saying, to hit something or someone to the extent that, okay, you hit the person or something you hit, you don't stop. But you recognize that whatever you hit damaged your windshield caved in.
My goodness.
And for you to just continue to your friend's house, like...
And to have the car towed, you knew.
And
you knew.
You take a shower, I guess you go to sleep, and then the following day, you have the presence of mind to call a tow truck and have it towed to your father's house. But you don't stop.
And this is getting worse, folks. And I'm really, and we all know. And so we all really should be ashamed of ourselves, right? Because we all know people with no license who are driving around in unlicensed cars with no insurance. And
every day.
Right? They don't care. And we're like, wow, this person's a cowboy. But no, we can't continue. It's time to start calling the police. It's time to start turning them in. It's only a matter of time. And they're always the ones to get in the accidents. Every time you get hit, it is somebody without a license, without insurance, and in a car they shouldn't be in. Always.
It's sad, and it's like the judge. If you would stop, who knows? You know,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe if his life could have been saved if he'd gotten proper medical attention. Who knows? If you didn't even bother to stop, you just kept going.
Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. And toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. And Lavernia's story is very touching. I remember, the first time hitting a dog, that was traumatizing. It truly was. I don't know how some of these other people clearly, they look like they're aiming for the dogs. But
Right.
it is that screaming, that
Listen, Dwight,
well-pink sound they
I
make.
can't tell you. I didn't even hear a sound, but I thought to myself, and I think it was because prior to where I ran over the wood, there was some stray dogs along the side of the road.
Yeah.
So having seen them, right, when I tell you, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was in the car, I said, oh my God, I hit an animal.
Right.
I'm telling you, that I was at the point of tears. And so I don't know how you hit something, and to the extent that you don't see what or who you hit, but you see the damage to your vehicle and you don't stop.
Mm-hmm. And she was already on the phone.
Right.
Oh, boy.
You don't stop.
So it's not like you didn't have minutes to call someone. Boy. It's insane. It's insane. Let's see what
And then 3 days later?
Yeah. Well, I guess conscience really takes over.
Ooh.
Wow. Let's hear what you have to say, folks. We've got a lot of your texts on the air.
Quality data stock in the West, along with you on the way.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. The thing is that lady even shouldn't be driving using her phone. That's other law breaking.
Mm-hmm.
She was very much brazen and was drinking. They shouldn't allow her to drive anymore in life. And that brother life only worth $20,000. And insurance, a good insurance is more than that. That's illegal all over. It made me feel so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
You raise a very good point there, and that was not mentioned at all, right? When she does get out of jail, right? I agree with you. She shouldn't be allowed to drive. Ever.
Yeah.
It's not like they could take away her license because she doesn't have one, but she should never be allowed to drive.
She shouldn't be able to apply for one.
Absolutely.
But who knows
Breaking all
between
the
now
laws.
and when this happened, did she apply for one? You know what I mean, Dwight?
Yeah.
Maybe she did after that. You know?
And most likely, Dwight, she was, if she hit person and the windshield caved in, she was breaking all sort of laws.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. And again, our condolences to the family, what you've been going through.
Absolutely.
This has been awful. Let's get to your text messages here. Okay. This person says here, oh boy, yesterday, and I feel like the sentence was foolishness. Lives in the country seem to be worth very little. Murderers get out on bail. Child predators get about 5 to 6 years or less, and a hit and run with all those factors only gets 3 years, and 5 was the most appropriate. Were they only charging her for driving an unlicensed and uninsured vehicle? Well, right? That should be, man, I hear you on that. Wow. Well, again, we have to put pressure on our lawmakers to make adjustments.
Right. Those are the laws. That's the laws that are on the books. And so the courts can only work within the parameters of the law.
Yeah.
As it is.
This texter says, Dwight, this woman is a cold-hearted murderer and should be hung by her. Oh, my God. Okay. I'm tempted to read this the way it's written, so that you all can understand the madness going on in the hearts of the people in this country. But I can't bring myself to say this. No, it's too early. I won't be able to make it through the show. All right, she should be hung, yap, by blah, 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 editing. I remember the public looking for her. How do you get to kill someone and just pay $20,000 and a few months in prison? There's an entire group of people who avoid the police on Facebook. Wake up. Okay, yeah. I hear you. Yes, we've heard about these WhatsApp groups and groups that they tell people where there are roadblocks and
yeah.
This is
yes, they do.
this
Oh, the
is
police
insane.
is here. The police is there. The police is wherever.
Yeah. So this is a pirate town. This is what the people like, and if people know about these things and they're not doing anything. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, and good morning, Levine.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight, yesterday I called your show in reference with when Ms. Wallace was on. And I stated some facts that you refuted or told me that it isn't so. I accept that, but my thing is, for me personally, Dwight, and I'm speaking generally, not just, to you, but before I make my point. If I say something that you may not understand, rather than criticizing and discounting it, just take note of what I say, and then you can do your own research. But the Attorney General came right back and echoed the same sentiments I said when I said it's going to be convoluted if we look at gender. And your show and your guest yesterday, she was using domestic violence incidents, citing them, and still trying to push this gender-based violence thing. And why didn't she bring examples of persons who are being discriminated against or who are being physically or sexually abused based on their gender? That is key. But she used the heterosexuals argument and trying to push this thing. But I'll take it a step further. Not only would it be convoluted, remember we had 2 referendums. We have had, and you're listening, right?
I'm listening. We're going to get to this in a bit, but I'm trying to figure out why because we weren't talking about that right now.
Yeah, but I just want to preface
yeah,
it before
but
I before I can't, but my only point is, because then you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But my only point that I'm trying to make is we had 2 referendums on same-sex marriage. Former Prime Minister.
No, we absolutely did not. We haven't had any.
Okay,
at all.
We had two referendums. One was based on gender, the other was based on sex. But if we were to go now and bring a gender-based violence...
They were about citizenship. About citizenship and the differences in the rights for men and women when it comes to citizenship under the Constitution. They were not about same-sex anything, and this is exactly why they failed, because of talk like that. It's reckless and dangerous.
Let me make my point, Dwight. If we were to go with this gender-based violence piece of legislation, that would indeed open the door for same-sex marriage. Won't you agree?
No.
Why won't you agree? Because if we are protecting these people based on their gender, not male or female, based on their gender, if you're protecting them, why wouldn't we be able to give them a marriage to get married to one another? The gender. So we see where we're headed, and we know where these people are going with these things. They're not focused on, they're not really interested.
Just because you say it doesn't mean it's real. And I don't see how it's about violence. It's about people being treated unfairly, poorly, abused solely because of their gender. Okay, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. But all right, we'll get to that a little bit later. We're going to continue on this conversation we're having right now. So let's focus. But thanks for the call. This person says here, as a news report and your comments are airing, 2 vehicles pulled out in front of me, one a silver Honda Accord and no license plate or windshield decal. It still had the shipping stickers on it. We need more police presence in the early morning. I drove from the east to Carmichael and didn't see a single police car. If my memory serves me correctly, she may be the first person to have to serve jail time. No, that's not true. Since the new law, no. Well, I don't know. Since there were adjustments, but it's not the first time. There are more police driving oh, my goodness. There are more police officers driving unlicensed and uninsured vehicles than regular citizens. Start of the head. Now, I don't know how you can say that. I don't know about many people purchase insurance in order to license their vehicles. They return to the insurance and cancel it afterwards. Something ought to be put in place to mitigate against this bad practice. Yes, people have been saying that for years, right? That should be against the law. You can't cancel it. You can't get your money back. Again, the lawmakers know about this. What are you doing? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't they doing that? How many more people have to die? And then they get nothing. Does it make any sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Wow. And you definitely need to, I think the insurance companies said they do notify. I think they said that the last time we talked about it. They do notify authorities that the person canceled, but it should not be allowed. You can't cancel it. What is this about now? I don't understand this story. There's another one. Here is, there needs to be better focus paid to the police force. I'm going to be editing all morning long, I can see. To the pathetic police force, they say. As usual, a lack of enforcement is why we have so many tragedies, no regular traffic stops, or island-wide CCTV, or even cops in areas they know folks are drinking in when they are leaving, as you see in the U.S. But the Commissioner of Police will be the first to run on about saturation patrols and blah, 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 and blame society. Here is how to know nothing through liquor stores exist. I rest my case. I hope the aliens the U.S. are acknowledging come to study this place first. We are insanely bipolar people. I think you need to insult people with bipolar disorder, but sure, we've got a lot of issues. We're going to take one more call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good show, man. Listen, I drive Cowpen Road every morning, and that's now a training ground for Haitian learning how to drive. Something needs to be done. It take you almost an hour to get off the road. So see, look into that for me, man.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wait. Laverne, no? While I catch myself, you don't want to talk?
Supposed to say to that. You know.
I don't know.
And he's sure of the nationality of the people who will learn how to drive. Wow. Okay.
Well, yeah, let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. How are you and Laverne?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Morning, there. I want you to think about all the illegals we have here that come from abroad and don't get their licenses and get themselves sorted out and are driving. And then put the young people with that who buy cars and don't have licenses yet. So can you imagine the amount of people on the road that are not licensed or insured?
You mentioned two very specific groups, but you also need...
Every day, not every weekend.
I noticed you mentioned two very specific groups, but you're not mentioning the middle-aged Bahamians, organic Bahamians who are driving around without license, insurance, and any... The what? Why would you do that?
Well, I just feel if you're in your 30s and 40s, you should have your license.
But
You should have it by now.
No. But
You're
expired.
very responsible.
Is it expired?
If you're in that age bracket.
No, you're not listening. You're not listening. Okay, but blame everybody else. You have to renew it. That's the law. You're right. When it's expired, you get it renewed. Right? That's what you're required to do. You don't like it? Well, then become a lawmaker and change that. But that's the law. You're breaking the law. You don't have a valid license. So let's talk about those people. There's tons of people like that too. So yeah, young people and immigrants, fine. This name here, Roll. You know how many rolls from? Too many rolls from Port-au-Prince. You know many of them. Yeah. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
We have a problem. There are people in this country who are behind the wheel of a car that are driving vehicles, and they do not have license. They do not have insurance. Nothing. They're on the road illegally. That is the problem. I'm trying to now determine, okay, which nationality they are. Like, where are we going with this? This man lost his life. Mr. Roll sounds like a Bahamian name.
And they're both rolls.
The victim,
they're both rolls.
Was the victim of a hit and run. The perpetrator was also a roll. So please, let's not allow this conversation to devolve into something else. The problem is people are out here driving, breaking the law every day. Unfortunately, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Somebody loses their life. You see how it spirals? You don't stop. You don't stop not because you weren't drinking. You don't stop because you know your car isn't licensed or insured. You know you don't have a driver's license. So you don't stop.
My goodness.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
People are breaking the law. So please, this morning, I know everybody, it seems very hypersensitive about who is here, where they're from, which nationality. But we have an issue, and that is people in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas breaking the law on the road every single day, and people are getting hurt. And yes, this young lady turned herself in, but we don't know. There have been other hit and runs where people are still, they never get an answer.
It's getting worse on the text line.
Their families.
Laverne, it's getting worse. All right, so this person says, the same text, how many people need to die? Only one wants to die because that's when things will change. But some of these roles are Haitian roles because they're half Haitian. They are paper Bahamians. Oh, my dear Lord, what is happening? Wow. Oh, man. If I sell my car after I license it, then yes, I cancel the insurance. What are you doing? What's your problem? That's not what's going on here.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on
But
here.
that's a difference.
That's not what's going on here. What are you trying to prove?
That's not what we're referring to.
They get insurance, they license the vehicle, and a month later they go back to the insurance and say, "Oh, I'm canceling because I sold the car." Yeah, right. Anyway.
There may be instances where that happens, and of course you're going to cancel the insurance if you sell your vehicle, but I don't believe this is what we're referring to this morning.
This one says here, I have some concern of this law. I'm not blaming the victim in this case, but often I see people walking in the road at night wearing dark clothes. What do we do about negligent pedestrians who put drivers in a position of hitting them? This can cost a law-abiding citizens, can put them in a very scary position. Have you ever watched the movie Shot Caller? Texter, if you hit one of those stupid pedestrians, stop. Stop and call somebody.
Stop.
Right?
Yeah, you still got to stop, and you could give an explanation to the police. The point is stop. Don't just say because, okay, you hit someone there. I didn't even see them. Okay, all right, but my God, stop. Get them some help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Call the police. Get some help and then that explanation.
And we absolutely need an education campaign for pedestrians. I've seen, and the adults are the worst. The adults are the worst.
Right? absolutely need that. Pedestrians need to understand, especially when they're crossing the road. Just because you're crossing the road doesn't mean that you have the right of way.
Right.
You're not on a pedestrian crossing.
They
You're
just
just
walk
crossing
out.
the road, and then it's like, oh, I dare you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you realize this is not the law.
It's madness.
So absolutely, there needs to be an education campaign when it comes to pedestrians. And just for your own safety, you really have to be aware of the color clothing that you are wearing, especially when it's dark, because it is dangerous. But yeah.
Couple more messages before we go to a break. This person says here, yesterday morning, immigration was at Coral Harbor roundabout collecting illegals. Oh boy. I was informed that there were people driving in the opposite direction, giving the heads up to people with illegals going to work. How are we to do better in this country when it comes to illegals if the Bahamians are helping them evade authorities? Well, I'm sure since you wrote that now, someone will say those people weren't Bahamians. I guarantee you that's coming. This one says, I told the police sergeant this suggestion. Oh, I've been in a long line of roadblocks and people quickly do a 3-point turn and dash the other way. 4 police bikes were just sitting in the bush. Why wouldn't they chase down those same cars? Those probably have guns, etc. in the vehicles. Simple stuff. Use your noodle. I told the police sergeant this suggestion when I got to the point of stopping me, but they don't want to put any effort into anything. This one says, 2 years ago, another car crossed the median and destroyed my car. I had a $12,000 hospital bill and lost my $6,000 car. I'm still waiting on the police report. Whoa, 2 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
He had no license. Car was licensed. Of course.
Oh, wow.
Those are the people with nothing to lose. They're always driving like crazy people.
And here you are, the victim.
Yeah.
You are, in the hole for what? $18,000? $18,000.
Wow.
Between medical bills and the cost of your car.
Dwight, why for such a small country we don't have anything under control? Come to Abaco. I honestly believe 90% of the cars are not straight. The island is lawless. Please come and do a story. King and Queen illegals are driving. Don't bury your heads in the sand. It's like you're afraid to touch these people. No, I'm just saying, yes, I'm sure that is the case. But we've got everybody.
Just saying that it isn't just them.
It's not just them.
Right.
It's not just them.
That's the point we're making. It's not just them. It's Bahamians. It's Bahamians as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's Bahamians as well. That's the point that we're making. Let's not say that make it appear or seem as if there were no illegals here, we would not have this issue.
Everything would be fine.
Those who are driving illegally may be exacerbating the issue, but we had an issue nonetheless.
There
already.
are people bragging, Bahamians, bragging about driving dirty. Driving dirty, riding dirty.
This is my 6th car and I ain't had a license yet. What?
All right, we're going to take this call before. Let's do this really quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
And Miss Laverne.
Hi.
Good morning, Bob.
Morning.
I just want to ask 3 questions. Do we have driver's ed in schools?
No. What?
No,
I just asking. And what?
I've been talking about that for years. I've been saying it needs to be mandatory no matter what. It needs to be mandatory.
What is the written fixed penalty, or what is the written one should do if one hits something in the road or hits something while driving? And next question is, we need change, bro. Y'all saying it all the time.
Big time.
This is crazy. You could go to the United States, you have 14-year-olds in school learning how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
When I learned how to drive, when I got my license, it was just basically reverse, park, drive down the road a little bit. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I just wanted to share. You guys have a nice day.
You're right. We have to do more. We have to do more.
Roll hitting a roll is kind of scary, though.
Hey.
Scary. I was blown away by the things you said happened during this accident. This was totally avoidable.
Yeah, this is insane.
And the friend didn't even say anything as well.
Right.
I mean, where do we stop? Or where do we start? Things have to change, bro.
It's bad. It's very bad. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all have a good day.
You too. Very scary out there. Let's go to the break. We've got a whole lot of text messages. A lot of people have a lot to say on this. Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Nassau's gone so. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own. Nassau Rock and Nassau Road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul. Feel right. Mini skirts, maxi skirts, and afro hairdo. People doing their own thing, don't care about me or you. Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's got soul now. Oh yeah. And we got a doggone beat now. We're gonna take care of business too.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We've got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. In your real-time traffic this morning, your hot spot, as usual, Mile Butler Highway, but not too hot this morning. You'll just see a line in front of you as you get north of Harold Pond on the way to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. Traffic is backed up a bit, though, on Tawny Williams-Darling Highway westbound to that roundabout. Elsewhere, not looking so bad. Not looking so bad at this hour. Just a bit of congestion at Blue Hill Road as you get over the hill heading toward Independence Drive northbound this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. This traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan. And time for another check of weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a weak high-pressure system extending westward into the Bahamas. That's going to promote light breezes through tonight, while pockets of showers or isolated thunderstorms remain across the islands, partly due to residual troughing and moisture. Boaters should be alert for water spout activity, and again, the public being advised to remain hydrated and stay out of the sun during peak sunlight hours. We're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. For today, for the Northwest Bahamas and the Central Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds and hot with isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming partly cloudy and warm tonight. For the Southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a slight chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight. It's getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, weak high pressure will remain over the islands, promoting light east to southeast breezes, while residual troughing will help to keep some isolated showers and thunderstorms over the islands. So for Friday, tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds again, and still very hot with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, partly sunny and hot with a few cloudy intervals, isolated showers or thunderstorms. We'll have a look at the tropics coming up in our next weather check, but this weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Hit the road with Jack and the all-new, all-electric EJ7 midsize sedan. Check it out at Easy Car Sales. Visit them at easy242.com.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is to say, we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island game.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's gone soul. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own. Nassau rock and Nassau's got.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supplied. And now at 8:18, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a weak high-pressure system extending westward into the Bahamas. It's going to promote light breezes through tonight, while pocket showers or ice rain across the area, partly due to residual troughing and moisture. Got a number of special warnings. Boaters, mariners should be alert for waterspout activity, and again, the public advised that they're expecting another hot day, heat indices in the triple digits, stay out of the sun, hydrate, and look out for your pets as well. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for a mix of sun and clouds and hot conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. becoming partly cloudy and warm tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and humid, with a slight chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight. Temperature-wise, right now we are at about 85 degrees. We're looking at highs getting up to 93. That's Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index will be at 103, though. Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. And overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, as we head toward the holiday weekend, we're looking at weak high pressure that's going to remain over the area, promoting light east to southeast breezes, while residual troughing will keep isolated showers and thunderstorms over the islands. So for Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot again with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, partly sunny and hot with a few cloudy intervals, isolated showers or thunderstorms. In the tropics, we're not expecting tropical cyclone formation through the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First. Select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And at 8:21, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. In your real-time traffic this morning, looking pretty good out there on the streets of New Providence. We've got just a few areas where you'll see a bit of congestion, like Milo Butler Highway, as you head northbound, just north of Harold Ponds, where you'll see a few cars in front of you, heading toward the roundabout with Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Tawny Williams Darling Highway back to a bit westbound to that same roundabout. It's getting busier there as well. And seeing a bit of congestion eastbound on Tawny Williams Darling Highway, heading toward the roundabout with Bahamas Games Boulevard. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road, as you get north of Soldier Road, heading northbound toward Independence Drive. I see quite a few cars there heading toward the roundabout. And other than that, not what we're looking at right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office.
Who?
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mike Johnshawn.
It's Mordecai.
Grab your camera, capture the spirit of the Bahamas, and win cash and prizes. Scotiabank, in partnership with the Guardian Media Group, invites all youth, amateur, and professional photographers to enter the Celebrate Bahamas 50 photography competition, being held under the theme One Nation, One Legacy, Our Future. With more than e-cash to be won, snap those photos and send them in by August 30th. Visit GuardianTalkRadio.com or bs.scotiabank.com to find out how to enter. Let's celebrate our proud nation in photos. Terms and conditions apply.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, Visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners in Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Free monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Shopping is so rewarding with my Fidelity credit card. I get the best prices with price protection. Earn and redeem freedom points at my favorite stores. Get cash back. Plus, I booked a cruise. Get your Fidelity credit card today. Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Eve Daddy's mama-in-law. I thought I'd trust you once again. Now this is why I ain't your man anymore. Girl, you got me hurting inside. I don't know if I'm sad or drunk, but there's tears in my eyes. And you got me sticking around. Whoa, I take a bullet, girl, but I can't stand seeing you with my man-in-law. My man.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. Dwight Strong with you along with Laverne Gardner. Coming up in a few minutes, we are going to wrap up our 3-part series with RF Bank and Trust on margin loans. It's been quite educational. And Laverne, hope you've been listening. Are you ready to invest? I'm ready to invest as well. And then take out a loan, and we'll see. But that's coming up in a few minutes. All right, so we want to continue the discussion before the break. This horrible story, this tragedy. A woman from hit and run sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison. A deadly hit and run on Valentine's Day last year. The woman here, the driver, did not have a driver's license in a car that was unlicensed and uninsured. Sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison and she's been ordered to pay $20,000 in compensation to the estate of the deceased. So we're getting a reaction. The reaction has been strong. Some out of left field comments as well, but generally people are outraged by this. Let's read some of your messages here, and you can continue to call in. With the person that got knocked down, the police have in their hand a populace that doesn't check. Random patrols and checks, that's what we need. The general stops are too targeted, and people just don't go out. We need stops that are random. We have license and insurance that have to be on your person, yet I've never been asked for my license or insurance at these stops. Well, that's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point.
Yep, they only look at the disc on the windshield.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Again, a lot of people are going to get into problems if they start asking for that, though. But that's maybe what needs to happen, right? Maybe that's what needs to happen. They go on to say, knocking someone down and stopping right away can be dangerous, though, based on where it is. You can go to the station, the nearest station in the area. I wouldn't stop in some areas, to be honest. Nassau is dangerous at night. In the daytime, too, depending where you are, it could be dangerous. But you're right, go to the police or call while they're heading to the police and tell them what happened. But you've got to do something. Some other horrible stories. A policewoman hit my aunt's car, and she confessed that she didn't have any insurance. She lured my aunt to the Grove Police Station to write the report. My aunt's car is still not repaired, and the report is nowhere to be found. Wow. How long ago was this? Texter, let us know. How long ago was that? That is, wow, that's some crazy stuff. My last 2 car
That's
accidents.
awful.
Yeah, that is terrible. And the earlier texter said that the officers are often some of the major violators when it comes to that. Yikes. My last 2 car accidents were caused by young, unlicensed, uninsured females. Bahamian drivers, the last one fled the scene, and she had foot-long eye winkers. No wonder she couldn't see me when she changed lanes. Oh, boy. Yow. Okay.
Clearly, it's a problem, right? Clearly, we have a problem. And we got to find a way to crack down on these violators. I don't know, but we got to figure it out.
Dwight, the police just got 50 new bikes added to their fleet. There are no police bikes visible on the roads except to be outriders for special people. I have been driving on Glasson Road every morning for the last 3 years and haven't seen a police bike or a direct police. Great show as always, 2 days ago, I served a customer at my workplace and I asked him to produce his photo ID for the transaction he wanted to complete, and he admitted that his driver's license was expired and that it was 4 years. I couldn't believe it, and he didn't even know where road traffic was. I told him he was breaking the law, and I hope I don't buck him on the road. He was in his early 50s, just ridiculous, and for those who try to be blaming this on foreigners, that gentleman was a Bahamian. This one says here, everything in this country, Bahamians want to put it on people, blame other people, but don't want to take no blame. I was just hit, and it wasn't no Haitian. Bahamians are doing things, but blaming these issues, but it's not just the foreigners, okay? People are just lawless now. That's what they're saying. Yeah, okay.
Right, and Dwight, and that's the point. We're trying to almost create a narrative like we as Bahamians are such law-abiding citizens, and now we have people, illegal migrants who come into this country, and they're the ones breaking the law. They're the ones committing crime. But Bahamians, we're such law-abiding citizens. We just know that is not true.
Yeah.
Do we have an illegal migrant problem? Yes, we do. But let's not pretend as if Bahamians, we are so, such paragons of virtue, and we don't also break the law.
All right, we'll take those calls in a second. This person says here, I traverse the streets a lot. Many people take their own time crossing the road. Well, that's another story.
Yeah, these pedestrians. Yeah. Educate them.
Well, if they're on a pedestrian crossing, fine. But like I said, some people just, whatever they want to do, they just do it without thinking. And that's dangerous. This person says that driver knew what she was doing was wrong, and on top of that, she was drinking too, which is also a problem. That's another thing. I've seen people cross the street a footstep away from the pedestrian crossing. Too many of the people calling in and texting are in denial. To them, it never seems to be Bahamians that do these things, but always a foreigner. Rape increases, it's a Haitian or another immigrant. Murder increase, it's a Haitian or another immigrant. Now, hit and run, it's an immigrant problem. When will Bahamians take responsibility for their own actions? This is why so many young people are interested in leaving or have already left the country. Taking accountability from the top straight down does not exist. And they go on to say a bigger issue we may have is where the court system is concerned that too many people know each other or someone's family member and may not disclose this, but they're making decisions in persons' cases to ensure that no real result is achieved or received. This who you know system is also destroying the country. Okay. Let's take these calls really.
Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Let's take the calls really quickly. Yep. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight. In reality, it's all of us, right? But we have to be realistic here. The most mistakes will be made by a foreigner driving on the roads because they wouldn't know the roads like we do. And I've seen it in the inner city. I've had a friend who got in an accident at the intersection of the Mall and Marathon, and the person was of a Haitian name on the car. So he hit my friend to the pool by Bailey, and so he ran. He didn't stop. But what he did was the car cut off by cable bombers, and then he subsequently ran by the road traffic, used some family member that he knows because we saw the name on the license disc, and then sought to make it my friend was in the wrong. But if the camera had shown that he always killed my friend, all right. So this is what happens. He sideswiped, and my friend was heading west, and he was heading south. And so, as for what I'm seeing in the inner city, it's a lot of migrants getting in accidents because they don't know the roads. But we are all guilty. And so, if someone has an expired driver's license, that doesn't make them a criminal, Dwight. But I want to say this, as far as related to the police officers. I was at a client's house a couple of years ago, and I parked the Ford Ranger truck that I was doing some work. I was putting up some corner spots for this lady, and so I had parked visibly in the front of where an officer lived, but it was out of the way. But apparently, how she had reversed and damaged my truck, I hit it from the side, broken the lights and everything. And so I came out, and she said that she's an officer and she would take care of this and take care of that. And so subsequently, I never got a response. So I went to her house a few times, and so I went there one Saturday, and she pulled up with her family, and she saw me coming out of her yard, and she accused me of trying to break in house and run out with some foolish. So she never paid me any which way in any which event. So they're not setting a perfect example. And by the way, I was driving from my grade 10. I've never been compensated for an accident in full. Once, there was a gentleman who compensated me, but it wasn't even in full. And so I've found false license discs on Bahamians' car and foreigners alike. So it's both of us, and it's a lack of city ordinances, the drinking and driving and whatever, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lack of ordinances and enforcement, Dwight.
Let me ask you something.
We can't be naive and say it's not for foreigners. It's mostly us, but it's foreigners also.
Yeah,
we have to stop knocking one another.
Let me ask you something. You said not having a driver's license doesn't make you criminal. I mean, you sure about that? I mean, maybe a month if it's expired. Oh, it's gone. Right. A month, 2 months it's expired, maybe even 3. But 4 years? Nah.
You know what?
I think you're a criminal.
I get the point, though. I get the point. If your driver's license is expired and you were not driving, you're not criminal.
Please.
You know what I mean?
Please.
That's the thing.
Those are the people who are driving. They're the main ones driving. That's when they start to drive, when it goes expired.
The mere fact that your license expired, no, it doesn't make you a criminal. What makes you a criminal is you knowingly, every day, getting behind the wheel of a car, that your driver's license expired.
And you're flaunting it. I haven't gotten this thing. I haven't got a new license in 4 years. Okay.
You don't even have a plan to renew it. You're not saying, okay, boy, oh my gosh, I let this expire. Let me see how quickly I can get the road traffic and get this. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I'll get to it one day. Huh.
Yeah, maybe. If I have to.
I got to travel before that, though. We're running out of time. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to both of you, Cial and Johnson. Let me give you a point that has been tested in law here in the Bahamas. Your driver's license and your automobile does not expire. They accumulate a past due debt, and that is the problem in effect in law that we have not corrected since almost 12 years now. Because what happens is, the fact is if I don't renew my license for 12 years and I go in, I must pay for those 12 years. So if my license expired, then how then do I owe for something that was expired? That's the defect in law. So I know, and this has been tested here in Grand Bahama in the court system, and I asked all the time for a long time, why don't we fix that? Because the government puts those on the books, as accounts receivable, even though they probably never ever collect them for those cars and things, and so they look good on the book. But ask a QC or something of that sort concerning that argument. I hear people say, "Oh, their license will expire." Never having a license, the government does not allow your license or your tag to expire. And in fact, it was brought up in the Senate yesterday in regards to that. Thank you so much.
All right. The rules, a lot of the rules we have, truly probably don't make sense, but we need it so that there's no chaos, and we need to pay some people so that they can feed their families as well. But those are the rules. Like I say, if you want to change it, run for office, bring it up in the House, present a bill, and abolish it. But until that happens, this is the rule, right? No? You want people to obey laws?
Yes, it is. Current, okay, expired, not expired, over debt, it's a bill, whatever it is. Make sure that you are up to date with your license payments. How about that? Make sure you're current.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Very quickly here. C. Allen is absolutely correct on the last commentary. Because many of we as Bahamians been questioning this law as where it pertains to if you have a vehicle and you haven't driven that particular vehicle for 2 years or 3 years, why should I, if that vehicle was not on the road, why should I have the back pay or pick up all the back payments for that vehicle if I wasn't using that vehicle?
Right, but that's a totally different.
Nobody seems to give an adequate answer.
And they have given. They said if you can prove why you haven't, maybe a mechanic, whatever the reason was, to prove why it wasn't. Maybe you were in a coma, whatever. But show it. That's all they're saying. But that's not related to what we're talking about here.
No,
right? We're talking about people who willfully just are out there. They don't give a crap, and they are driving cars that have not been licensed in years.
I'll give you two other little examples, and then I'll leave the air. No longer than yesterday, it seems as if the biggest offenders right now are still, and I'm sad to say, I want to put it particularly in this manner because I'm actually watching out here what's going on. These women with these cell phones in their hands, they seem as if they cannot put that device on the side and drive, paying attention to what they're doing, and put the cell phone on the side. And I can guarantee you, on the road and take a look every time you stop.
Are you suggesting?
They have it sideways to their mouth.
Are you suggesting that the men with the cell phones are doing a much better job?
Cell phones are not bigger violators from what I can see out here.
Oh, okay.
The biggest ones are actually the female drivers. And I'm being
Jeff, you're going to get beat up today.
Listen, I'm opening up a can of worms, but I want you to be observant.
You better watch it. Oh,
but
boy.
anyway,
okay.
All beside the point here, my last point. The traffic cameras. Are these traffic cameras working? Secondly, are they calibrated to gauge speed on the road? Are they actually working? Because they are in a lot of strategic areas, and it seems as if when it comes down to getting the data, there seems to be no data is available. So that's another question we need some answers to. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
All right. Good luck to you today. Wow, and the final call. We got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay, couple messages as we go. This person says here, yes, they're agreeing with driver's ed in school. This person says, in the Bahama Host program, there is a road traffic department presentation that I think all Bahamians should see. It's graphic, and nobody would speed after that. Okay. What? I don't understand the text. My wife was hit by a driver, and the police came and took a report. When she went to road traffic to get a copy, she was told that there was no report. We got so rich that we had to import cheap labor before we empowered Bahamians because we need to keep them poor so we look rich. That chicken is coming home to roost soon. Okay. Who's that man? Let him open his eyes to the men texting and speeding if we're going to stereotype. Yeah. Well, the ones on the phones with the neck to the side generally drive at 2 miles per hour, but they will blow through traffic lights and pedestrian crossings and medians and whatever, not knowing what they've done. But it's everyone, men and women. I've noticed. I don't know if Grand Baham's any different.
That has been my experience just yesterday, day before yesterday. I can't remember. I was out on the road and this car ahead of me, couldn't switch over and just going extremely slow. I'm like, what is going on?
Yep.
Finally, when I pulled up on the side, it was a man.
In a big, serious conversation. On my way here in the mornings, I'm amazed. Like, who are you talking to at 6 o'clock? Like this big conversation with you at 5 miles. Who are you talking to? Because I don't want to talk.
I'll have to discount. It's not just women.
It's everybody with a cell phone.
In my experience.
Yeah, it's crazy. This person says the letter from the mechanic is no longer accepted. Well, they said it has to be a reputable mechanic.
A certified or licensed mechanic.
Exactly. Now, that's going to be the challenge.
Right.
That part.
That right there is the issue.
Good luck. You guys are from one topic to the next. Are we? I don't think so. What about Keith Bell? And please text her. What's up with you? What's going on?
They're from
What's
one
happening?
topic
Yeah,
to the
seriously.
next. We right.
You mean every day we're on a different topic? Okay, well, thank goodness, right? No, but anyway, any word on? Okay, this is just random text messages coming up now. Let's go to break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I'm living free. Still thinking of the things you do to me. I will forgive you, but I can't forget. We were in love, now I'm in pain. All of those years.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing, hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
job. She said, baby, you got to think it out, 'cause you're in a bad state. You ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. It is time for part 3 of our special series with RF Bank and Trust on margin loans. It's been quite an educational experience over these past few days. And today, in part 3, we are talking about the benefits and considerations of a brokerage account. Once again with us, we have Assistant Vice President and Group Head of Marketing, Rachael Allahar. And we have Securities Trader, Charmaine Williams. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so we've been learning a lot about, there we go. All right, that's fine. About all of these securities and what margin loans are. But a lot of people really need to get into this and investing and need to understand all of this. So we're going to, again, talk about the benefits and considerations of a brokerage account. So, Charmaine, I guess this is you. Explain to us what a stock brokerage account is all about and how it works. How it works, especially if you're considering investing, making your money work for you.
Okay.
Let's get that mic up there.
Well, a stock brokerage account is an investment account that is held at a registered brokerage firm. And in this account, various securities are held and they can be bought, sold on behalf of investors. With a brokerage account, obviously, that's where you begin to create and build your wealth through various investment options.
So the same as maybe a bank account would be, where it houses different things like mortgage or credit card, savings, checking. So the brokerage account is the same thing, but for investments.
Yeah, okay. All right, so explain the difference there between this and maybe just buying the securities outright. Can you do that? Buy it directly from central bank? How this works and why you should go through a company like RF?
Okay, well, central bank, I think, really clients or persons can only purchase bonds through central bank. Mm-hmm. And so that would be the only option they would have. However, when they come to a brokerage firm at RF, we offer not just bonds, there's stocks, mutual funds, as well as other investment products that clients can invest in, and this helps to diversify their portfolio. They're not just, subject to the bond. Like I said, they have different options that they can go with and provide different rates of returns and different means to create wealth.
All right, so we've got some people who are really just starting out who don't know what you just said. So let's outline the difference between.
I'm trying to.
You're one of those.
Because I'm one of those. I'm like, okay, I need this broken down like into little steps.
All right, so let's do that. Stocks, bonds, all of these things.
Okay.
Mutual funds. You mentioned that. What are the differences there?
So a stock is basically you buying part ownership into a business. And, with any business venture, you face a level of risk. So basically that same risk that you face in doing business, any business, is essentially that's the type of risk that you're buying into when you purchase shares or stock in a company. Mm-hmm. When you purchase a bond, you're actually lending your money to a bank or the government, and they agree to pay you a set interest over the life of that bond. Mm. And so that makes that investment option a little bit more safer than a stock because it is now an obligation of that corporation or the government to pay you this interest. Mm-hmm.
So you can't lose on a bond?
I wouldn't say you can't. Okay. So even if, there is a situation where, there's default company or the government, you are considered a creditor, and there's an obligation to find your money to pay the investor. So there is a safety net, so to speak, with a bond. Yeah. And then with mutual fund, the mutual fund is a fund there's different types of mutual fund, and each fund is made up of stocks. Then there's fund that has stocks and bonds in them, and then you have mutual funds with just fixed income or just bonds inside of them. And so obviously, the products that's inside of the bond speaks to the risk that comes along with that fund. So a stock fund or a equity fund would be a little bit more riskier than a bond fund or a fixed income fund.
Right.
And so these are the different things that we take into consideration based on clients' objective
Right.
and their investment goals.
So you'd recommend a different type of, depending on what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So
mhm.
I have a question.
Yep.
In terms of the stock brokerage account, hopefully I'm saying that correct. So how does that work? Let's just say I have $5,000, an extra $5,000. Do I come into RF and say, I want to open up a stock brokerage account with this $5,000 and I trust you to invest it for me? How does that work?
Well, there are a number of factors that are considered. We take into consideration the client's age. We take into consideration their objective, whether they want to just focus on growing their wealth, or if they already have a considerable amount of money accumulated already, they may just want to preserve that and just, live off the interest. So it depends on what it is the client wants and the different guidelines that we look at. We look at the age as well, the time horizon. If you don't have that much time, then you cannot take on, that amount of risk that a younger person probably could, the factors that we look at.
But yes, you come to us, you tell us how much you want to invest, you speak with an investment professional, and they'll give you the guidance to let you know what kind of brokerage account and what type of investments to put inside your brokerage account.
Yeah. So if you want a quick rate of return, something you're shaking your head already. This is not likely for you.
Yeah, this investing is not a get rich fast. It's an investment, and that it's basically what you're doing today that will prepare you or work for you at a future date. So it's really something slow and steady, but it's designed to pay off in the longer run.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if you want to come in and open a brokerage account, how does that work? What do you need? What's the requirement?
Okay, it's pretty simple. You would come in, you fill out our account opening forms. It's a minimum of $100 to open a brokerage account with us. We require government-issued IDs.
Valid
yes.
driver's license. Can't be. What if it's a month expired?
No.
No. Oh boy.
Preferably passport along with a driver's license or NIV is sufficient. We don't take cash, so you can provide us with that $100 either by a check or you can have it bank a wire transfer.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Wow. Okay. Is there like a typical customer that you're seeing these days? Are you seeing a variety? Is it young, old? What are you seeing today? What's the typical investor look like in the Bahamas now?
I would say a variety, but definitely I feel that there are a lot of persons that are probably afraid or intimidated. They don't want to come in, but I would say, don't be afraid. You can come and ask for me, Charmaine, and I'll be more than, happy to assist and to break it down for persons that really don't understand, but they want to give this thing a try. I think there is a mixture, like I said, of persons, but I think there's a lot of persons that want to do it and they're afraid and they just don't know how to get past that barrier.
Yeah. So can you say mutual funds, these are already set and it is predetermined, I guess, by the company, which stocks and bonds are going to be in those?
Pretty much.
Can you tailor this in your own way? Like, I like this company, that one, and this one in here. Does it work like that?
Not so much. The mutual funds themselves, they are already professionally managed. So it's basically up to the investment manager of those funds to decide, which stocks or which securities to buy, which ones to sell, which ones to hold to get the best return for the clients.
Right. But you can individually do this outside the mutual
Yes, eventually.
funds.
So once you, do some homework and you become more comfortable with investing and you start to buy, maybe you want to start buying stocks on your own. Yes, you can now do that on your own. You can figure out which stocks you want to buy and why you want to buy them. You can do that on your own as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you said $100 to start. Are there maintenance fees? Do you have to...
Well, we do have basically 3 different types of brokerage accounts. We have the zero-fee account. With the zero-fee brokerage account, there's no annual fee with that account, and you can have an unlimited amount of money in mutual funds and still remain in that account. But like you said, let's just say I started out with mutual funds and I'm now comfortable and I want to venture into purchasing individual stocks and individual bonds. Once I begin to do that and the value of those stocks and bonds exceed $5,000, I'm then now upgraded to what we call our Advantage account. The Advantage account has an annual fee of $250. The trading commission with this account is a bit lower than the zero fee account. And also you have a line of credit, which means you don't fill out a loan application form and you don't pay a facility fee for the line of credit. And then this account, once you continue to purchase or invest and develop your portfolio and the value of your account now exceeds $25,000, you're now upgraded to our Advantage Plus account. This account has an annual fee of $500 and the trading commission with this account is even lower, much lower. You have exclusive access to private placements with this account, and then you have a no-fee credit line, $10,000 credit line with the Advantage Plus. This is an advisory account because the zero fee and the Advantage is non-advisory, but the Advantage Plus is an advisory account. So clients do have the option to come in twice a year to sit with an advisor and view their portfolio. And there's also 2 commission-free trades for $100 or more. And you also get commission discount on trades in excess of 10,000 shares.
Wow, okay.
And one of the big points that Charmaine kind of breezed over was that access to private placement. So when you hear, okay, Cable Bahamas is doing a share offering or this company's doing an offering, you want to be the first one to get in there and make sure that you can take part in that offering. So being a part of, let's say, the Advantage Plus, that means you're the first people in RF to kind of know that that's available and you can buy into that.
Because you hear about these things being oversubscribed very early.
Right.
So you that wouldn't necessarily affect you anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. That's great stuff. I've got a text here. Somebody's asking, what if you have already, you have shares, you have stocks in a Bahamian company, but the company isn't performing anymore, or maybe it's gone out of business. I mean, what happens in situations like that? Or the stock doesn't move, things happening?
Well, obviously, if a stock or any investment product isn't working for you, I would think the first thing to do would probably be to get rid of it, maybe sell it. But I find that the stocks, the local companies, our publicly traded companies are, so to speak, they're not growth companies. They're companies that have been around for some time. So they're pretty valuable companies. So while their prices may not be going up a lot, we do have a lot of them do pay dividends on a regular basis. And so if you find that you're with a company that pays dividend on a regular basis, one like me, I would probably try to buy some more shares of that company so that when there is a dividend payment, the income that I get from those shares is increased because I now have more shares in that company.
Right.
So I think the goal for most of our publicly traded companies is to try to, get some more of those shares. So you could-
Diversify.
Correct.
But if you're not getting dividends, you
if it's
get
not-
out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the role that the investment professional is going to play here. How much can you rely on that person, and the type of guidance? Do you reach out or do you wait for the person to say, "Hey, I have a question," or is it a mixture?
It's a mix. We do we monitor clients' portfolio. If we see, a substantial amount of cash just lying around, we definitely call these clients to find out, you have some cash sitting in your account. Do you want to have that money is further invested? But in terms of, we try not to tell clients what to do, but we do give them certain guidelines and just certain financial facts and information that they can go by. And based on, we know how the investment product works, and so we just match whatever product, matches best to the client's objective for the most part. But yeah, we just give them sound advice, give them all the facts, all the guidelines. We don't want to tell you what to do, but we want to give you as much information as possible to make that decision easier for you.
How often do people listen? Percentage-wise, they heeding your advice?
Boy. I mean, Yeah, some people they don't listen. I must be honest, but I mean, I don't know. We just have to build that confidence up.
I'm very curious. When they don't listen, and what you told them to do happens, what happens then? And do you say, I told you so, or are you a little more gentle with it?
Well, a little bit more gentle, but it's more like, yes, this is why you should have been actively contributing to your investment. This is why you should have been considering this more, because now look, you just missed out on this,
right.
this great opportunity.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know, eventually as time goes by and they see, that everything's happening in their portfolio, that they will contribute to it more and, keep it going.
I'm curious, what made you get into this? And you seem relatively young. What made you become a securities trader? I shouldn't have said that, eh? But you know what you're talking about, clearly. And what are you seeing? Are you seeing more interest from people, young people, to get into this field?
Yes, most definitely. Persons are more hip to investing now, as opposed to the past. So everyone's, obviously, persons were already talking about the whole thing and all of that stuff.
Is that a bad word?
Younger persons are interested in investing, and it's very impressive. You see people, they want to do it differently. They don't want to just do the standard way of doing things. So,
what advice would you give to others looking to be traders, to be investment professionals?
Basically to, I guess, have a passion for what it is that you do. Understanding that, wealth is truly important. You want to create a legacy for your family. You don't want to be working all these years and then still have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. So it's just know that it's a very important, practice that, you should take up. We still encourage persons to save. You still want to save your money, but understand that saving and investing is two different things.
Yeah.
So you still put monies aside, for rainy days, for expenses, because you don't want to invest in your brokerage account and then still, turn around a month or two later and taking the money out to do something else. So we encourage you to separate your saving from investing and just to, keep with it.
Yeah.
And
just start.
Yeah,
I think
just do
step
it.
one, just start,
Right.
have the conversation, come in, visit us. We're on East Hill Street. Have a phone conversation, send us an email. Just ask the question, and you'll be surprised sometimes at, how easy or simple it was. And we're happy to have those conversations and explain things to people.
Yeah, and we talked about it at last show, right? That education, especially with young people, is desperately needed. And what you're doing here this morning is great. Getting the message out there and getting it early to folks to be thinking about this in the future. Yeah. Rachael, thank you very much. Hopefully we will do more of these.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Rachael Allahar and Charmaine Williams. Yes. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. It's been a great series. Learned a lot.
Thank you.
And Laverne, you want to get together and do some investments, or at least talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can plan this.
Seriously though.
Yeah,
Very
no, I
interested.
think so.
Hopefully they won't look at my age and say,
No, it's never too late. It's never too early.
Right.
Just
you need
start.
to have several seats.
No, okay, sounds good. Thank you both again. Appreciate it. And thank you to RF
Thank
Bank
you.
and Trust. All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back. A lot more to talk about on this Thursday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I lost my job. She said, baby, you been out 'cause you're in a bad state. You ain't got no money.
Attention all beauty enthusiasts. Perfect Tone, your go-to destination for restorative skincare, is on the move. Famous for flawless results within 30 days, Perfect Tone is relocating to the shops of Southwest Carmichael Road. Now is the time to get the skin you've always dreamed of, removing dark spots, acne, and oily textured skin for good. For more information and updates, follow us on social media or visit our website at ptskincare.com.
Introducing Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger. Chimichurri. That's how you pronounce it. Let it roll off your tongue. Then get ready for some ridiculously good flavor. Fresh, herby, garlicky, green, chimichurri. It'll feel like a relaxing backyard get-together with friends on a Sunday. Put in a burger. Come meet Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger with our new Dave's Craft Lemonade. Wendy's, different inside and out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
At Alive, we believe that every common loftier goal is within our reach. We believe in the essence of our identity, the richness of our history, and the boundless potential that lies within us. That's why our network is built by, owned by, and managed by us. Alive, believe in Bahamians. Visit BeAlive.com to take advantage of our golden independence deals. Alive, believe in best.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Are you ready to turn your passion for hospitality and tourism into a thriving career? Well, here's an opportunity just for you. Check out these new skill certificates at University of the Bahamas. You can choose from 3 concentrations: culinary, pre-culinary, and hospitality. You can complete this program within as little as 6 months, depending on the results of your placement exam. Get hands-on training in the highest industry standard and learn from world-class faculty. Apply today. Space is limited. Call the School of Tourism, Hospitality, Culinary Arts, and Leisure Management at 677-3201. Or come on in and find out more. The deadline to apply is August 4th. Don't miss out on this big step to start an exciting career.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, August 3rd. Can't keep up. August 3rd, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we're doing a business news roundup. There's a lot to talk about in the business world, and we're going to get to that this morning. And also get to what we didn't get to so far about what the Attorney General is saying about the Protection Against Violence bill and why the government decided to go in this direction as opposed to the gender-based violence bill. We'll get to that in just a moment as well. But before most of the show, we were talking about this horrible incident, a deadly hit and run last year, and the driver in this situation, who had no driver's license, was driving an uninsured vehicle with no driver's license. That was expired, uninsured, and unlicensed vehicle. Sentenced to 3 years and 6 months in prison and ordered to pay $20,000 in compensation to the victim. So the estate of the victim. So we've been talking about that all morning. People sending their messages, and it's very scary what's happening out there, Laverne. But this text, and this is somebody, I guess, who is familiar with the situation. They know a lot of details that people not close to the situation might not know. But I'm going to read the text. They say, let's not forget Mr. Sandy Roll, the victim in this hit and run. A 41-year-old man walking on the side of the street as he did every morning for his shift, only yards from his place of work, run over by this irresponsible person and left to die in the street. He was found by another co-worker who was also on his way to work. We are told that Sandy Roll bled out and could have possibly survived had he received immediate medical attention. This lady only turned herself in after the pictures from the camera at Lakeview were made available that showed a clear view of the vehicle. I don't know what punishment is enough, but 3 years seems like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Wow.
I felt that it was a slap on the wrist even before this text came in.
Yeah. There's a lot of heartlessness involved in this case,
Yeah.
right? A lot of cold,
Yeah.
heartless, inhumane, unhuman feelings involved. And
Which, like the judge said, you know, we don't know. We don't know. He may have very well been able to survive. It may have been a long road to recovery, but he didn't even have that opportunity because you never stop. You never stop.
and didn't call.
Nope.
And it's clear she had a working phone. Wow. Yeah. So, it's rough, and we've been getting all morning people seeing violations on the streets right now. They're seeing it. Another one here on my way to work a few minutes ago. Saw a gray car headed east on East Bay Street, no license plates. People are just emboldened to violate traffic laws because the chances of them getting caught are very slim. Wow.
Yeah.
So again, if you're just joining us, you missed the story, pick up today's National Guardian. The full story's in there. It'll definitely possibly upset your morning. It'll make you feel a certain type of way, I am sure. It is very sad. Very sad. And so completely unnecessary. We don't spend too much time on this, but let's take this call really quickly, and then we'll get to the other issues we want to get to this morning. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Morning, Dwight. I'm going to make it quick. I'm wondering, right, every year or every so often they have so many police passing through, right? Where do they post these officers? Because you could barely see any officers on the street. Why don't you just post a whole passing out 1 year in traffic? Because of all these violations, traffic violation every day, accident or person, you got to be careful who will run into you because they continuously run the red light. We need more. We keep saying we need. They're just looking for guns and so forth. What about the people who breaking these rules every day? These bunch of,
Yeah.
Just put a whole heap of them out in traffic, a whole class, a whole whatever,
Yeah, people have suggested before, many have said we need something like a highway patrol where that is what your focus is on.
Used to see them, but now I don't know what did move them off the street, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. You see them, but it isn't what people want to see. It isn't as frequently as people would like. Because there are places where every day there's going to be a violation. It's going to happen. There's one place, I'm going to say, right on Marathon Road. There's a no U-turn sign. It's been up there for years. There's a reason why. Because you cause traffic to get blocked up if you try to do a U-turn there. But nobody cares. Car after car after car after car doing U-turns there. These are selfish, ridiculous people. You can't do a U-turn here because you slow everything down. But they don't give a flying whatever.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't
and
care.
It's just U-turn, and it's going to happen. The police could pay everybody's pensions. You could get bonus. You could do everything if you just stayed right there. But nobody, and everybody knows about this. I'm sure all of you listening right now, you might be right on Marathon with the U-turn. You don't care, but we know it. There's some other places, they got signs up telling you can't turn here. But every day, somebody's turning. The police could be out there doing this, but this is not a priority. We've heard it many times before. You got to sweat the small things, and that impacts what people think they can get away with. And you might begin to see a change when it comes to the bigger crimes, because, well, if they're going to do this to me because I did a U-turn here, I will not try to steal your bumper or your headlights in broad daylight, because I might get myself in real problems. But no, we're not doing that. It's like lawlessness on the streets, Wild West, and everybody does whatever they want. They don't even need to learn what the signs mean, because I'm going to do what I want to do. But this is what happens. This is what happens. I'm sure just this now we've unlocked the doors, we've opened it up, and we'll never get to any other topic because of this. But let's see. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. Let's end the conversation. What would it look like if we really, obeyed every law? I mean, everybody breaks the speed limit law, and it starts with that. I mean, in New York City, they did it. They brought in the police commissioner, William Bratton, and he had, the broken windows theory, where he stopped every single citizen in New York City for minor traffic crimes, and it led to the overall decrease in crime on the bigger crimes, like you just said.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have to be accountable, because we don't want it. I mean, it's very unfortunate what happened to the gentleman. I remember going to traffic court a long time ago. A gentleman was actually arrested for killing somebody on the Yamacraw Road. He got I think it was a $50,000 fine. He was an accountant, no jail time. And, it's been happening for a long time, but we have to be accountable. We don't want to actually let the ugly monster, because we all break the law, Dwight. I mean, unfortunately you do, and your guest does as well. But I drive the speed limit from time to time, and it's very relaxing. It actually does something for the society. It calms everybody down. But let's just start there. Let's start there with speed cops on every main road, and no exceptions, no friends, families, or lovers, and start issuing the tickets. And I guarantee you, crime would drastically decrease in this country.
All right, don't go yet. This is a very interesting conversation. Now, the speed limit thing. I have some. There are areas of New Providence where the speed limit is. And we can debate this, and this is what we need to have our lawmakers think about. The speed limit might need to be adjusted. It might be too slow here. It
doesn't have to be, Dwight. There's no rush. There's no rush to go anywhere. I'm telling you, I do the speed limit. You get there in the same amount of time, whether it's lights, whether it's roundabouts, whether it's potholes. It's the same amount of time, and I tell you, you save gas. You're a calmer person. There's no need to speed.
All right, let me tell you. On East West Highway, I'm not agreeing. But I hear what he's saying. I agree 90%. 90%. But let me tell you, East West Highway.
I always tell people, listen, if I get a ticket, God forbid, it isn't going to be for speeding. I am not a speeder. So I try
East West Highway, the speed limit is 45 there, but we've got a lot of people who think it's 30 because it's 30 in many other areas. And I'm telling you, the 30-mile-per-hour people are going to cause as many accidents as somebody doing 60. Sometimes, and you need to, right? You cannot be going too slowly. That is as dangerous sometimes. Go too fast.
Our roads are half the size of the U.S., and, everybody harps on the point that when we go to the U.S., we wear the seatbelts, we do the speed limit. They really don't give any leeway for speed limit crimes. But I was growing up as a child, and I'm sure you remember, we did the speed limit. Nobody was speeding, and it was fine. Now it's like the island hasn't changed. We didn't double in size. Nothing has changed. It's just that we think that we can break the law. It's actually just breaking the law.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. That's bottom line. Right? If we change it, things will change.
I hear you.
Thank
you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
That's the issue. We've changed. Everybody is always in a hurry to get everywhere where they need to go. Everybody's in a hurry, and they are only concerned about how quickly they can get there. And so if that means that I'm going to make a U-turn because that means that I can get there faster, I'm going to make an illegal U-turn. If that means that I'm going to make a right turn when this says it's one way and I shouldn't, I'm going to take that chance because I am concerned about where I need to go. I'm not concerned about everybody else on the road.
Well, these days, I know there are people doing foolishness. They're bobbing and weaving in the lanes and all over the place and not signaling when they're changing lanes. We've got a lot of speed demons out there. But I think at the moment, from what I'm seeing, the biggest problem we talked about earlier, the people on their cell phones driving 5 miles per hour. That is a pandemic around here. Or an epidemic, at least.
We got them driving 5 miles an hour. We have them sitting on the red light. The light is turned green, but they didn't notice because they're engrossed in their conversation.
Yep.
And so, we have all of that going on. It's lawlessness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are the problem.
And you know things are bad.
It stems from these little things that go up to the big things of the fact that I'm driving and do not have a license, or I'm driving and my car is not insured.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a problem when roaming dogs, seem to know the rules of being a pedestrian more than the humans, right? The dogs are on the pedestrian crossing. The dogs are looking left and right. The dogs are backing up when the car is coming, but the humans just walk out.
Dogs don't want to get hit.
No, they don't want to. The humans don't care. So we are in a crisis on the roads. And this is, I'm telling you, driver's ed desperately needed. Mandatory driver's ed in high school, desperately needed. Let's take some more calls. We're going to get trapped on this topic. But
we are trapped on this.
It's too late. But we want to get to some of these other things. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Listen, I'm here driving now and listening to you guys, but I have my one headphones in, so that I don't drive with my phone in my hand. I watched a police officer the other day. They were at Junkanoo Beach. They were booking there at Junkanoo Beach, and the officer on the southern side of the road stopped a vehicle. The officer on the northern side of the road, just how that one followed his paper to right, run cross road. Hey, no. He good. That's my cousin. Let him go.
No.
They come back and check my vehicle.
You should have said I'm your cousin too.
I did. I said I your cousin too. If you forget me, I said I'm the daughter of the sister down the road, Auntie, Uncle John.
Right. Wow.
Because and my work is to drive, so I'm on the road all the time. I'm at the red light, and there's officers in the patrol car with phones in hand, texting. Texting. There's officers all the time when they're driving past. I watched one. I was behind one on Prince Charles the other day. She is driving, and she's going, she's scrolling through her phone, probably looking for a number to call, and I watching her sliding the screen up, and I just look. So the officers are doing the same thing. So they have to, in order to, like the Bible says, take the beam with your eye before you take it with your neighbor's eye. They have to clean up themselves before they decide to clean up the street. That's why the street is the way it is, because they're doing these things. So nobody is consistent with keeping the law.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow. Let's take another call. Good. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air. Oh, okay. All right. Text messages. This person says here, someone crossed the median on the highway, hit my mother head on. No license, no insurance, no registration. But the police just let him go home with a date to appear at court. Why not arrest him right away? I was arrested for cursing at an officer. Put it in cuffs and in a cell. But these people go free. Wow. Wow. This person says here, everything in this country, the Bahamians want to put, I think we read that already. Okay. As a police officer, when we are doing roadblocks, the people cry, but the government is trying to get money from the public. Who ain't texting on WhatsApp and Facebook during the roadblocks until Bahamas stop that, then we can fix these traffic laws. Okay, a little bit of that I'm not understanding, but I think I get the general notion. But yeah, we've got a lot of issues. Okay. What about the police that see the violations and drive past without doing anything? We need saturation patrols. We need CCTV cameras and humans manning them and charging the cars. I guess you know what that means. Okay. This isn't the first time someone has died from a deadly hit and run. I'm reminded of Marinique Paul in 2018. Interestingly, there does seem to be a pattern. The car... why do you have to go here? A woman driving. It's not always a woman. It's often a man too. It is everyone. We're seeing it. It's come on, folks. Why are y'all like this? And a man is the victim. That's not true either. And they get a little slap on the wrist. Say what you want, but that's one heck of a coincidence or set of coincidences. It's been everything. We've seen the men. It's been men. You're right about one thing. They're never licensed. They never have a valid driver's license, and the car is not theirs or uninsured. All of those things are true, but we're seeing it everywhere. Men and women driving, men and women victims. It's happening all the time, and something has to be done. Something has to be done. This one says here, not more police, but proper working cameras tied to the road traffic department and police department with billing for infractions issued monthly. That's going to deter most of these lawbreakers. Yeah, well, we need everything. We need everything. One thing I don't do is lie. Once I had to use the bathroom real bad. I made the U-turn on Marathon Road, the same one you're talking about, but I really had to go to the bathroom when nature calls. Really?
What are we supposed to say?
So what were you going to do? Where were you going to drive to? You were that close to home? Or anyway, okay. Boy. Anyway, you can't be serious. You see how these people drive. You want these morons to drive faster. I mean, there are places where the speed limit can be increased. I mean, many find it bizarre that it's 45 on JFK. You're doing 45, you could see snails walking past you. You know, it's unbelievably for that highway.
I don't know if the listeners if you want, Dwight is a speeder.
How dare you?
Establish that.
How dare you?
Dwight is a speeder guy.
That's a serious accusation you're making.
Dwight. Have I not driven with you?
What are you trying to say? Did you say?
Dwight is a speeder. Dwight is a speeder.
Are you saying that I broke the law?
I'm just putting it out there. Okay. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying that you are a speeder.
My goodness, Laverne. This is what your friends do. Wow. Anyway, this person says, it seems as though the authorities aren't able to deal with the speeding situation at the rear of the downtown straw market out there is terrible. What are you talking about? Who's speeding out there? How? How is that possible? You can't even speed walk out there. What? What? Speeding? Which straw market? Okay, well, that is news to me. Okay. The caller who said that we've just started speeding recently has a memory problem or just started driving. Remember the slogan, Drive to Arrive Alive in 95? That was almost 30 years ago. We've always had a speeding problem. Remember when the drug boys had all the Corvettes and Mustangs, Mustang GTs and Bosses? This didn't just start yet. I think you're right about that. I think the speeding actually has gone down. I'm telling you, people, the slow driving is a bigger problem than the speeding. There are crazy people out there, absolutely, driving 100 miles. Yes, that's still happening, but the people going 5 miles per hour while talking on the phone and texting, bigger, much more frequent problem. People are very concerned about updating Instagram while on the streets for some reason. So, but we've got both. We've got both problems to deal with. People call the Bahamas a pirate republic of conduct, and discipline was mandatory. We now don't even have that. This is a society of anarchy. So you're saying the pirates would be disgusted and would leave the Bahamas if they were around today. Boy, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's that's my family friend or friend thing is the single greatest problem with this country. Everybody knows somebody, so no one pays the price for their actions. This person says here, we have to agree on this. It's suicidal to drive on Prince Charles Drive. No. It's not as bad as you all say. And if you do think it's bad, then we'd appreciate it if you don't go on Prince Charles Drive. That'll be good for the rest of us who have to drive it every day.
Less traffic.
It'll be much better for
Less
us.
traffic.
Oh, my
less
goodness.
traffic for those who
away.
don't have a choice.
Please stay away from Prince Charles Drive. Yes. For God's sake. Okay, so let's do this really quickly. So the Attorney General, this is we talked about this a lot yesterday, and there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of people not understanding why, what changed here with the bill. They've been talking about the gender-based violence. Suddenly the Protection Against Violence bill comes up. Not as much consultation, very little. Some would say not any, and that's passed in the House and being debated in the Senate. Whirlwind, to say the least. So the Attorney General, Ryan Pinder, talking about this yesterday, explaining why this decision was reached. We didn't really hear it like this in the House, but thank goodness for Ryan Pinder, I guess. Take a listen to this report. Charlene Ferguson talked about it this morning on the news.
Claiming the Davis administration is dedicated to eradicating violence against women, Attorney General Ryan Pinder defended government's Protection Against Violence bill in the Senate yesterday. To a packed gallery of women on hand to witness the debate, Pinder told the upper chamber the new bill expands upon the foundation of the 2016 anti-gender-based violence bill, which he said this government always intended to amend.
Madam President, this was never intended to be a final draft. And in fact, consultations and amendments continued on the 2016 draft until today. Yes, the 2016 bill was voluminous. However, the consensus was that the bill needed work to be in a position to present to Cabinet, which would ultimately then advance it to Parliament. One area of refinement that was discussed and ultimately advanced were the provisions in the 2016 bill that addressed protection of victims and anti-gender-based violence protection orders and the repeal of the Protection Orders Act 2007. We certainly wouldn't want to inhibit the tools available for domestic violence victims. It was therefore agreed we would create two separate bills, one for protection orders and another dealing with other gender-based violence matters. It was the view that the way the 2016 bill addressed protection orders was inadequate to provide for the tools necessary for victims of domestic violence.
Some women's groups have complained that the gender-based violence bill was replaced at the last minute by the Protection Against Violence bill, which they claim does not contain key provisions to better protect women and girls as outlined in the original bill. Pinder told the Senate the new bill has been amended to provide protection to victims who may not be directly linked to their abuser domestically.
We propose to amend the Domestic Violence Protections Order Act to include provisions for a new definition of domestic violence on the basis that in today's reality, domestic violence may include the abuse of persons who have no domestic relationship with the abuser. The essence of this recommendation is to amend the definition to prescribe that a victim as one who is personally connected to the abuser, rather than the present description of the relationship of the victim as a spouse, partner, child, or any other person who is a member of the household or a dependent. Broadening the scope of protection orders in the context of domestic violence. The stated reason for recommended change is that the proposed definition captures all forms of relationships and ensures that all victims of domestic abuse are sufficiently covered.
He also defended the government's decision to seek a broader approach to violence than gender.
Gender-based violence in the 2016 bill, and I quote, means any physical, economic, or financial, emotional, verbal, or psychological abuse against a person because of the person's gender or gender identification, whether or not constituting a criminal offense. The 2016 bill speaks entirely and exclusively to gender-based violence matters. It is our position, and that of esteemed professionals, that a regime focused only on gender-based violence has the potential to be confusing, and a broader application to violence is more appropriate. Madam President, I think it appropriate to mention that the suggestion to broaden the scope of the current bill to violence generally was done on the recommendation from the Crisis Center and the Department of Gender Affairs.
Okay, our Charlene Ferguson with that report there. Ryan Pinder, the Attorney General, speaking there in the Senate yesterday. All right, so you heard what he's saying. He said, quote, "We want to ensure that is appropriate and avoids any possibility of confusion. We want to ensure the desire of the Bahamas Crisis Center in advocating for children and the Department of Gender Affairs and their concern that isolating a bill to gender-based violence will cause confusion as to only applicability to women are taken into account, and thus we propose the Protection Against Violence bill. Yes, this is a shift from the 2016 bill, and we admit that, but a shift that is supported in policy and supported in expert analysis." Pinder noted that the 2016 bill called for the creation of the Department of Family and Gender Affairs, a section that is no longer needed after the department was created in 2016. And he said the 2016 bill provided for separate criminal offenses that constitute acts of physical violence or physical abuse and gender-based violence. He said, quote, "I noted earlier that there are a variety of laws in place that address offenses related to violence and gender-based violence. Having a separate list in the 2016 bill was regarded as inconsistent with current law and would provide an opportunity for confusion on the applicable law, offense, and penalty. It was determined that these offenses should be removed and that we should rely on the offenses in existing law." Okay. Let's get your reaction to what he's saying. What do you think? Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. All right, so I got a lot of views on this. I think what Ryan Pinder is saying is quite reasonable and understandable and makes quite a bit of sense. Here's the issue. Again, this bill, as we heard yesterday, this adjusted bill, much shorter than what was out there before for the gender-based violence bill. This has been, May? May was out there. The consultation period was very short compared to other bills that went out for consultation. There was no public education other than what I'm told was one, maybe, town hall meeting. We certainly did not have any media discussions. Representatives from the AG's office, the Ministry of Social Services, did not come out to talk to people about it, to explain so that we could head off this public relations nightmare, to explain why they were going in this direction, to let the public know what this would mean. There was, one press release maybe? If that? Why not do this before it got to you don't now? Every sentence we are hearing seems to be a backtracking. Or we're open now to amendments to the bill. What? The day after it was passed? And then what the Prime Minister said last week is very different, right? I'm surprised at the response from the women's groups, and I think it's just the nomenclature.
It was out for consultation,
right? Which it was not at all.
And then this week you're saying, "Oh well, we're still open." I mean, it's like you said, how are we still open? And this is already in the Senate. It's already passed in the House. And then again, it seems that we're always giving information after the fact.
Yeah, what is that about?
After. It's like always after the fact.
Why couldn't you have come?
Everything that the Attorney General said in the Senate, why wasn't that said prior to that bill going into the House.
A week before, 2 weeks before, I need to come on the shows to talk about this. Is what we're going to be doing. It's a little bit different from the gender-based violence.
We're drawing out. This is what it's going to be going, into the House to be discussed, to pass into law. I remember there was a sort of a town hall meeting discussion on this new bill, but that I think it was only one time.
No.
I stand to be corrected 1 or 2 times, but yeah. So it's always this after the fact explanation.
And it's changing because you didn't hear this talk in the House. You didn't hear it. Right? It was all about, just because we removed the word gender, that's why some of these groups are mad. No.
Right. It was the concerns that were being put out there. The explanations, it's kind of very trivialized, like, they're just mad because we took out this. And now here we have this comprehensive explanation in the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Very, very odd. And we're not learning from this stuff, right? And as you heard from in the Senate, the views that the opposition brought up, they're also sharing the confusion and the not understanding of why this went like this. So everybody's not on the same page here, and we're making up stuff as we go along. And the excuses are getting better and more reasonable, indeed. But we didn't have to be here. We didn't have to be here at all. And it's very strange. 363-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. And if you were listening yesterday to our discussion with Alicia Wallace with Equality Bahamas, it came up quite a lot. Like, okay, so what would be the challenge if it were just violence in general? And a lot of people had issues with separating it based on gender. And as you heard, we had a call earlier saying that as well, and this could lead to something else. We don't see how that could be. That's something else. But these are good questions, right? People explain it. What if? Why? How come? Right? But it just doesn't need to go like this. It's the public relations. Use it. You've hired a lot of people from the media to go to do public relations for the government. Put them to work so that you don't have situations like this, for God's sake. Right?
Of the belief that it's done that way so that you don't have questions prior to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's done that way. I believe it's intentional, because if I'm a part of a committee, if we're in consultation working on this thing from 2016, it's now 2023, and you have gotten advice from whomever you've gotten advice from to say, well, I think that we need to broaden this. If we do this and we're only isolating whatever, well, why not come back and say, hey, upon recommendation from the Crisis Center, upon recommendation from other leading experts, upon recommendation that we've seen done in other countries, we believe that it is best to go in this direction. And here's why. It's going to capture more people. It's going to protect more people. It's going to broaden whatever. All of the explanations that the Attorney General gave yesterday. Why not say this up front? Mm-hmm. So now then we understand, for those of us who worked on this bill tirelessly all this time, now we understand what's being laid out, the reasoning why. We may still not agree, right? That's fine, but at least we know. But here it is. You have this bill is going forward, and we're hearing this bill, and we're thinking, what? This is not what we worked on, right? And you have the Prime Minister again saying, hey, I don't understand what the objection is. We've been talking about this and opened a consultation and met. It goes through, and then it's in the Senate. And we always, once it's in the Senate, that's it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sorry to say it like that, but
even before it gets
right. It's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. But now you're saying, but hey, just wanted to let you know that we are still open.
Yeah.
To what?
And the bill indeed passed shortly before 7 p.m. in the Senate last night.
Right.
there you
So
go.
what are you open to? You gonna go back? That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got more Morning Blend Business for you. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
When I get married, she's the one who give every. I want me a foxy girl when I get lonely. Give me that foxy girl every time I see. I wanna lose my heart to a girl from the eastern part. And when I get married, she's the one who give every. Oh yeah.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan. Island game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan. Island game, we got you. Percy's pension plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So let's count and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level as a qualified mental health or school counseling professional? University of the Bahamas has a new Master of Science in Counseling program. Get ready to reach new heights as you learn from our expertly trained faculty. Our program meets the highest international standards, ensuring you receive the best education possible. We focus on everything you need to excel, like individual and group counseling, clinical interventions, and research and program evaluations. Our 2-year program brings together a close-knit cohort that'll support you throughout your educational journey. Experience the power of transformation. So what are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity now. To apply, call 397-2602, 397-2606, or email graduate@ub.edu.bs. Don't miss out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Laverne Gardner. All right, so we only have a few minutes left, but we've been talking about this for a few days, and they're here today with us alive. And Fiber, everybody's excited about this. Here to tell us more, we're very pleased to welcome Consumer Sales Manager Chase Taylor. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so Alive Fiber, give us an update. How are things looking? What's the rollout looking like at this time?
All right, so far, radio listeners, I know that you've heard about fiber before, but I want to let you know that there's nothing in the entire world that could compare to what Alive Fiber is here in the Bahamas. Alive is about to transform.
Big claims.
Listen,
big claims.
Dwight, we are about to do it the right way the first time. Mm-hmm. We are about to set the mark, the benchmark, to the point where no one will be able to follow us, Dwight. And this is why I've been sent here, because I am the guy who believes in delivering best quality for your money, Dwight.
All right, we're going to remember Chase Taylor said it. So, all right, so what are we looking at? How far is it so far, the rollout? Where can you get fiber, and when can other people get it?
All right, so far we are currently in the Coral Harbor area. We're in the Adelaide area. And so I've had a customer ask me, Chase, will fiber change the way that I use my cell phone? And we had to go and remind them that fiber is a fixed service that is in your home. And we had to honestly try to get people to understand. What we're offering, Dwight, is something so unique. Once upon a time, you would have had to buy your Fire Stick, buy all the smart TVs, all of the different things. But our technology, why I'm here to brag about what we're about to offer, is that you're going to get an all-in-one package. When we give you a set-top box, that set-top box encompasses everything. Right. You'll be able to get your Netflix. You'll be able to get all of the other things going with that. So no longer your TV has to be crying in the corner. As long as that has an HDMI port, some of our customers may not have the smart home technology, but we turn that TV into a smart TV with our new technology. The game has changed, Dwight.
So occasionally we can see the little buffering thing going there. Is that going to be a thing of distant memories?
This is why, Dwight, our company has invested $85 million into this new technology, meaning that we stand behind our product. And let's talk about that buffering, right? We are here to tell the Bahamas that we are here offering 1 gig, Dwight, meaning that I have friends that are gamers. I can tell you, Dwight, they game hard. And what happens with gamers is that when they have to update these new PS5s, the latest Xbox, in terms of they're pulling down the speed. But when you have 1 gig, this 1 gig will not be shared with you. Now, there are two sets of things. We have something called HFC. That was an older technology that we are doing away with. And now we have fiber. You ever come home, Dwight, and you hear that, in the evenings, all the people home, and that means our internet, it's going down, it's dropping, Dwight, it's dropping.
I personally know about this, sadly. I know it all too well.
Yeah, Dwight, it's a thing of the mind. So here's what's happening now. You are now going to be in a committed relationship with Alive, right? Meaning that 1 gig, that's yours. You must own the 1 gig. You must use and treat that 1 gig with respect. Take that 1 gig out for dinner. Treat it right. So the 1 gig of data is all yours. Unlike the past, we would have shared the space with many different persons in your area. But HFC is something old, but our new technology, it's changing the game.
So that's going to be the least, that's going to be the lowest right there, the lowest tier. Will there be something bigger and faster than that?
Well, currently in the Bahamas, there's nothing offered at this current point up to that gig speed.
Okay.
So this is the benchmark. This is where it starts. In terms of this, where it ends, in a sense. So right now, that is the best that you're going to get anywhere.
Will costs change if you already are with your internet provider? If you're with Rev, will things change if you upgrade to a live fiber?
Okay, so it still depends on your packages, of course, because live fiber is something new. It's new technology. There will be a small fee attached to it, but it will not be anything to change because you're still changing different, all of your television shows, all the different things, different packages. You'll be able to change it based on that. But other than that, your migration is going to be very easy. In the Coral Harbor and the Adelaide area, we have persons canvassing the area. So there are persons using this technology now. They're actually in there. They've already been installed. So yeah, you will be able to get more for your money, so to speak.
All right. So for those of us in Eastern New Providence, what can you tell? What can you tell us?
Well, listen, Dwight.
See, your tone is changing.
No. I'm about to lay it down. I'm about to lay it down. Okay, so what we're doing is we've started behind God's back first, right? Because we've listened to the persons. They have always said to us at the Cape of Bahamas group of companies that, what about us? What about us who live just how you just made the comment, so you understand, right? So we wanted to start as far back as the persons could do so that we don't miss anyone. So we're literally coming down and we want to do it right the first time. So we started in the areas where people would say, well, when are you getting to us? So Alive, Cape of Bahamas, the Cape of Bahamas group of companies, Alive Fiber, we're taking care of the customers in way out first, and then we're coming our way down. So we won't be able to get...
It's going to be last. That's what you're
No. I'm telling you that we Dwight, me and you, we live in the East.
Right.
We're coming. But in the meantime, while we're coming, we're taking care of all of the persons in that area first. And then as we work along, we would start giving you more rollout dates as we go more live.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you have any rollout dates for Grand Bahama, specifically South Bahamian?
Listen, I just came from Grand
I'm
Bahama.
listening.
I just came from Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama is in the mix. We definitely will keep you updated as we bring out more of the rollout dates. So no island, nowhere will be updated. I mean, will be lost, so to speak. No island will be lost. But in the meantime, we are focused on the Adelaide and Coral Harbour area, and we're moving down. In that area.
So can you say, I know you work on the timelines, but can you say that by this time next year, everybody will have it? Is it looking like that, or what's the end date, the end goal here?
Okay, so at this current moment, we won't be able to give you that time and date because we're doing a lot of installs. This is a migration over, meaning that we have to go through the entire Bahamas and do everybody over. So what it means is that we, just for persons which you will understand, it's a completely new install into your home. So we're not using what we call the old coax cable any longer. So this process takes a little bit longer because we now have to replace your coax cable with our fiber lines, meaning that everything is going to be run over. So this is Cable Bahamas rewriting the script.
Okay.
So it's going to take a little bit longer than just tomorrow we're going to be in your area. It's a complete rewiring, a complete movement. That's why we invested that kind of money to make sure that we got it right.
All right. So really quickly, right now seeing 75 megabits per second on a good day. What's the difference between that and the 1 gig that you're talking about? How much will your life change?
Okay, so you may have smart devices in your home, right? And you have Alexa, you have lights, you have televisions, you have all of those different things. When you speak to Alexa now, that level of the way that you respond to your smart home devices will change. So that means that radio listeners, your lights, your smart home, all of the technology that you have today, it's now going to see, you're gonna see the real version of what it means to have internet into your home. Okay. It's no longer going to be the past. You're going to feel like you're living in the future. We want to be the leader in connected lifestyles and mobility, and this is why this technology is something about to change everything, Dwight.
Okay, all right. Chase Taylor, you're making some big claims today. We're going to hold you to this. You're going to be back to update us further on when we see the rollout expand more, I hope. But thank you so much. I think you're making a lot of people very excited today, but we want to hear more. One more thing.
Yeah, Dwight. So if I can just share this with you because, you want to know more about what's happening, right? So we believe in Bahamians, and that's our campaign that we're running, Don't Let Go, right? So we wanted to partner with a lot of our other vendors, right? So we have also partnered with Tropical Gyro Bahama, BB Kings, Lickety Splits, 700 Wines and Spirits. And listen to this. Let me give you this date. On August 5th, at the JFK Plaza from 12 to 4, we're going to be giving away some free stuff. All right? Our vendors have partnered with us because we believe in Bahamians and our vendors believe in us as well. So we're going to be giving away free wing snacks from Bahama BB Kings from 12 to 1, free ice cream cones from Lickety Split, free chicken rice bowl from Tropical Gyro. And guys, on August 5th, this is where you can come out and you can find out as much information as you want. You want to come out there and get signed up for live fiber because if you're in those areas that I've called off, Coral Harbour, Adelaide area, Stapleton, give you one just now, right? So we're rolling that down.
You're slowly moving east. Okay.
So if you come out there, you can find out all the information. It's going to be really big. Our teams are going to be out there. The live fiber teams are going to be ready. So come out and enjoy what it feels like to have the fastest internet in the entire world. Okay. Right? That's our claim. We're the fastest. We're the best. We've won the fastest on our old system. So what do you think is going to happen now that we're here with the latest technology? I challenge anyone, come and get a live fiber. Come and feel what it feels like to be free. That's our claim. You're going to be free.
We're going to hold you to it. Thank you so much. And again, appreciate it. Chase Taylor from Live Fiber. Exciting stuff there. Appreciate it very much. Laverne Gardner, hey, big promises. We'll see, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we're holding him to it.
Yeah. And I want to thank Aaron Green for indulging us this morning. Thank you very much, Aaron. To pick up today's Guardian Business for the latest in business news, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned. Aaron is next with On the Clock.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.